question to you is about like, are any of your clients like thinking about search engine optimization for YouTube or anything like that, or not really?
My clients, probably not, but they should. I mean, I would probably have to think about, some of my clientele because, I've been very fortunate to have many clients, and sort of some of them are one-off, some of them come back. So it really depends. But if they're not using SEO, they should be. I mean, and that's one of the main things, and I think we'll get to that. It's something that I learned, editing these videos, how important SEO is. And it doesn't really matter what business you are, SEO, meaning I'll give an example, like a brewery. One of my clients is a brewery in Israel. They 100% should be having SEO. Do they? No. But they should. But is there the only company that I can think of offhand that does SEO is one of my clients. I have a client called Serverlift in Arizona, and they created basically this like machine that you're able to move like these big computer servers, 1,000-pound computer servers from one place to another by yourself without needing multiple people. And when this company first came to me, I think 4 years ago, I was like, who like needs this type of stuff, like these machines? And they're like, some of our clients are NASA, Apple, like all these huge things, like all these massive servers in these locations. And so this company created this device, and they are amazing at marketing and SEO. And I know that they do SEO. So I think that they are one of the only clients, because some of my clients, like schools, unfortunately are not doing it, and they should.
Well, a lot of the schools are like local based, so like they kind of get the word of mouth. Like my kid goes here, your kid goes there.
100%, but still, and I think like it's great, but there's always more you can do. And you know this better than I do. But
so you've edited, I think, close to over 100 of these videos.
Yeah.
And almost all of them are about most of them are about organic search, SEO, and some of it's about paid search. I'm just curious, how would you define search engine optimization?
Search engine optimization. I mean, I was talking about grandma. I know Hillel does that a lot. Explain to your company, like as you're talking to your grandma. I'm not the most technical guy when it comes to SEO. I could talk for days about cameras, technical stuff, so I'll try my best. But I think for me, the question was, what have I learned?
No, I just want to curious what you think when you say SEO. What does that mean to you? What is SEO?
Basically, your website ranking well on Google.
Okay.
Basically, if let's say, Serverlift, I'll give it an example. I type in Serverlift on YouTube, on Google, is it going to be one of the first ones that come up? And I think how you create your website and the keywords and the tags and the metadata that you put in there affect when you come up on search. And you can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm not 100% sure if that's right. That's sort of what I've gotten from it. I know that there's a lot of layers involved in it, and I know that things keep changing and updates, and Google algorithm keeps changing, and I know you're not always so happy with certain things that happen, and some of the people you interview are also not so happy. But yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Curious. So I guess you learned a little bit about SEO by editing these videos.
100%. Oh, for sure.
So in terms of what you think are the most important, I guess, factors to rank, I'm kind of quizzing you.
Yeah.
No, not that I put you on the spot. You have no idea. I'm just curious what
an
outsider kind of thinks about SEO and what they think search engine optimization is about.
Love it. So I think it's ranking your website. I think it's.
So how if you had a website, what would you do? What would you tell your developers to do to make your website rank?
So for me, it's a little bit different. I guess it's not, but I would ask you first. What would I do? But I assume that it means putting in the right keywords according to my business.
Right.
Video production, and I know, like I said, there's probably tons of layers because I'm sure a lot of people are doing video production on their website and this and that, but and I'm sure you know the tricks and tips of how to rank better. But sort of creating your website, and before you even create it, because I know that, I'm just remembering now multiple stories of clients that said that they're an agency, and they've had clients that they take a look at their website and it's built horribly, and the user experience, you can't load a page, and it's horrible, and they have to start from scratch. And so, these clients that paid tons of money to get their website created in the beginning, the new agency is like, you can't even use this, and people are like, what, really? So I think starting from scratch and doing it the right way from the beginning is something that I picked up, and you can tell me if I'm wrong.
So building the website the right way from the beginning.
From the beginning, and I think spending money in the beginning, and I know that's hard for a lot of companies, but it's really investing in your business is.
So I'm glad you answered that way, because it's not really about the meta tags or the tricks that you might have. It's really
that's
about
after, right? Isn't the
not even? It's really about building the best possible website so that Google wants to rank it.
Exactly.
Google should figure out this website's about X, Y, and Z if you build your website right.
And it starts with building a website.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can't rank something that's not on the internet.
I all the time now, I'm going on websites, whether it's in Israel or the States, and whether it's on mobile or whether it's on my computer. And some of these websites they take forever to load. The experience is horrible. What have people been doing for the past 2 years? Like, I understand that life's it's been really tough for so many businesses, so many companies, but the second, something like a pandemic like this happens and you realize, okay, no more in-person thing, digital. You got it just 100% digital. And in Israel, I have to give a little bit of credit to because they've been a lot better in the past couple of years of digitizing their entire country, because before that it was pretty ridiculous. Like, you need to send a fax to the Israeli government. And you probably still need to do that now, but luckily, they're slowly, getting okay, you could scan something on your phone and send it. Oh, that sounds good. So.
That's funny, because that's one of the best parts about COVID, at least here, is that all the people who refuse to do online stuff, like certain financial institutions and banks, you have to go in and sign the paperwork and stuff like that. They're all like, oh, we have to do it online now.
Yeah.
So they allow it, which is great. I think that's one of the best things about COVID.
Oh, 100%. I think a lot of people were thinking oh, COVID's so horrible, and it obviously is so horrible. It's a horrible disease, but I think there's a huge opportunity for businesses and companies now to capitalize, and maybe capitalize is not the right word because we're in the middle of a pandemic and it's horrible, but to really revamp and digitize, and I feel like some companies are, but a lot of companies aren't really not taking advantage of it, and I'm a hypocrite because I'm not. But it's okay.
Yeah, you're busy, so that's all that matters.
So. Exactly. If I wasn't busy, then I think I would listen to what I'm saying. But
yeah. I'm curious. Is there anything that happened that has surprised you about maybe search or any of the guests that have spoken over the years? It's going back 2 years of video editing.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I think that, I know this is probably not the answer you were maybe looking for, but obviously the difference between the beginning videos that we were editing at conferences versus now and these. Because when you were at conferences, you were pumping out, you were doing interviews, everyone wanted to talk to Barry Schwartz. And I know you're not going to be happy that I'm saying this because you're really too modest, but everyone wanted to talk to Barry Schwartz, so you had no problem. And now, obviously, because of the pandemic, things are a little bit different, and have to travel to outside locations, and it's going to be winter soon. But I don't really have much time to be surprised because I'm learning. I feel like I'm learning every episode. So, and at this point, I've seen, and maybe not in the SEO world, but I've seen so many companies make not smart decisions. So when I hear, Lily Ray or someone talking about, how one of their clients built their website from scratch and it was horrible, maybe in the first 20 episodes, I was like, wait, how can a big company do something like that? But it doesn't surprise me anymore because there are not as many smart people as there are not smart people in a sense. I feel like they're and you're one of them. You were really the early on SEO and did it right from the beginning. And I think every single person that you've interviewed, it's just a certain type of person that comes on, and the episode on these vlogs. And
okay, so now awesome. I want you to rate every single person I interviewed.
All right.
From the top to bottom.
Well, we said we did over 100 episodes, so that means we only met 15 people because we've done 2 or 3 parts in each one, so it's not that hard, right? Because
I think it must have been probably close to 50 people, I would think.
More.
Probably over.
No, probably close to 50, actually, you're right. Probably close to 50. We've done a lot, because we were doing 2 a week at one point, so in the beginning.
So maybe initially it was only one person per video, and now it's one person per 3 videos or something like that.
Yeah, but one day we'll probably get back to it.
I gotta go to conferences. So.
Yeah, and then you're wait, now I can edit these videos myself. But I'm always here to help, so.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Why? I don't know, you definitely could. I'm not, it's really,
I do the Friday videos.
It's not that hard. Meaning, and anybody listening who has any questions about any video content stuff, production, editing, filming, totally happy to help. I know how I got to where I am now is by learning from people that are better than me and starting from the bottom and sort of working my way up. And that's a whole story of how I got to where I am now. But we can get there.
My trick with editing videos, one take. That's
one
it.
Take.
No editing.
So when I had to do another take earlier from one thing, you're oh man, you're ruining it.
It requires cropping out stuff. So my Friday videos, I try to do that all. I do a weekly summary of what happened in the week. Yeah. And I record it, publish it. It's all done. The longest part is just exporting the video out of whatever.
To be very honest, I don't do that many cuts here. There's not that many places where I cut. Here and there maybe if you're going to check the camera and stuff, but and some ums and some pauses, or we're outside, so any crazy noises or planes landing in rivers and whatnot, but
that would make some good vlogging videos.
It really would. It really would. It really would.
We should have been there that day. What was Hudson? What airline was that landed in the Hudson River?
I don't remember.
Now we got to find that clip and include
put it right now. Boom.